Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a part of the Paris Agreement that's, well, super important, but also kind of confusing for a lot of people. Article 6. Think of it as the official rulebook for how countries can team up on climate action. And if we want to understand our global strategy, we've got to understand this.
So let's start with a reality check, and it's a bit of a tough one. This number you see, that's the temperature rise the world is on track for, even if every single country perfectly hits the climate promises they've already made. And that, right there, shows us there's a massive gap between our goals and our actions.
So that begs the obvious question, right? How can countries possibly bridge that gap? Well, the Paris Agreement didn't just set targets, it actually created a framework for teamwork, a system designed to help countries raise their ambition. And the name of that system is Article 6.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the big idea behind all this cooperation. Then we'll look at the specific tools inside the Article 6 toolkit. We'll get into something called ITMOs, the climate currency of this system. Then, crucially, we'll see how the rules prevent cheating. And finally, we'll tie it all back to what this means for the real world.
All right, first up, before we can really get into the nuts and bolts of Article 6, we have to understand the foundation it's all built on. And that foundation is something called Nationally Determined Contributions, or NDCs. So NDCs are basically individual promises. Each country comes up with its own plan for cutting emissions. It's a bottom-up approach, which is great because it's flexible. But here's the thing, individual promises aren't enough. To hit our global targets, all these individual efforts need to work together and add up to something much, much bigger. In other words, we need teamwork.
And that is exactly where Article 6 comes in. It is the official, internationally agreed-upon toolkit that lets countries collaborate to team up and achieve way more together than they ever could on their own.
You know, the really crucial point is right there in the text of the agreement. The whole purpose of Article 6 is to allow for higher ambition. Let's be clear about what that means. This isn't about finding clever ways to do less. The entire system is designed to empower countries to set bigger goals and then actually meet them.
Now, Article 6 kind of has two main flavors. There's Article 6.4, which is a big, centralized market run by the UN. But we're going to park that one for today. We are zeroing in on Article 6.2. Think of this as the more direct, flexible path that allows two countries to work directly with each other to trade their climate progress.
Okay, so if countries are going to trade climate progress, they need a way to measure it, right? They need a standardized unit, basically a kind of climate currency. And that currency is the ITMO. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, Internationally Transferred Mitigation Outcome, but the concept is actually really simple. One ITMO represents 1 ton of CO2 equivalent that has been successfully kept out of or removed from the atmosphere. It's basically a certified receipt for 1 unit of climate action. So let's walk through how this works. Imagine country A absolutely crushes its climate goals. They've reduced more emissions than they promised. Meanwhile, country B over here is struggling a bit to hit its own target. While under Article 6.2, country A can sell its extra reductions as ITMOs to country B. So what happens? Country B gets to meet its target, and country A gets money to fund even more green projects. It's designed to be a win-win.
But of course, for a system like this to have any credibility, you have to trust the accounting. The single biggest risk is that 1 ton of reduced emissions gets counted by 2 different countries at the same time. So how do you stop that from happening?
The answer is a really clever accounting rule called the corresponding adjustment. Honestly, it works just like balancing a checkbook. When the selling country, country A, sells an ITMO, it has to add that ton of emissions back to its own ledger. At the same time, the buying country, country B, gets to subtract that ton. It's a simple transfer that makes sure that one emission reduction is only ever counted once, by the country that actually paid for it.
And this adjustment exists for one very specific reason, to prevent what's called double claiming. That's the nightmare scenario where a single ton of reduced carbon is being claimed by the selling country towards its national goal and by the company or country that bought it. Corresponding adjustments make that impossible. They're the backbone that gives this whole system its environmental integrity.
So, we've been talking about all this high-level policy stuff between governments, but how does any of this connect to the real world, to the carbon market projects and private companies we hear about all the time?
Well, this is the bridge. A project, let's say it's a huge reforestation effort, can get its start in the voluntary carbon market. It generates carbon credits. But here is the key step. If that project gets the official stamp of approval and authorization from its host country, those credits can be converted into official ITMOs. That authorization is the trigger for the all-important corresponding adjustment we just talked about. And once that happens, that credit can be sold to another country to help it meet its official Paris Agreement target.
But to make all this a reality, it takes a massive coordinated effort. Everyone has a part to play. Governments have to do the really hard work of building the frameworks and setting up the tracking systems. The private sector's job is to go out and develop these incredible high-quality projects on the ground. And then other stakeholders, like nonprofits and watchdog groups, are there to provide oversight and make sure everyone is playing by the rules. It's really like a three-legged stool. If any one of those legs is weak, the whole system just wobbles.
So, what's the bottom line here? After years and years of intense negotiations, the rulebook is finally in place. Article 6.2 gives us a clear, flexible path for countries to work together and raise their collective climate ambition. But, a rulebook is only as good as the players. The power of this system now depends entirely on how ambitiously we all decide to play the game.